how to make a Lil Pump type beat. We're gonna start with maybe a tempo of around 110 or so. He doesn't always do like faster paced beats, more chill, laid back. I mean, I guess it just depends on what song he's doing. But in this case, I probably will start with a specific 808. Sounds like a Lil Pump 808. We'll run with that. Just like last tutorial, gotta do this. And while we're doing the 808s, let's try some kicks or hats. Hats will help us with our 808s. You want to do this or else it's going to keep looping, just in case you wondered what I just clicked. Basically just constructing the beat. Now we're gonna mess with the key. See how these 808s sound good. The A sharp, just so you know, probably isn't technically correct in music theory, but sometimes with the 808s, if I were to go up to B in this scale that I'm using, it probably wouldn't sound accurate. It wouldn't sound like a B probably. Just in case you're wondering why I went to A sharp. Okay, so I did that. Now I need to put this in A. See how it fits better? This is a Lil Pump type beat. These are really gonna add a lot to it. Just watch. And learn. Not necessarily saying I'm the greatest, but I strive to be. actually just gonna experiment because that's what music's really all about. Experimentation. See what this sounds like. It sounded better high in my opinion. I did go to A with this, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, now I gotta duplicate the clap. I'm extending the clap so it fits in the piano roll. This thing right here is ultimately called a piano roll. Just in case you didn't know. For newbies, you know. There's nothing wrong with being a newbie. But what there is wrong is when you're a newbie that doesn't want to learn, because you can't progress that way. This is going to be an end clap. Yep. See, I'm layering my claps and I'm going to add snares because ultimately you want it to be full. You want to have dynamic to your beat. You don't want to you don't want to have a plain Jane beat. You know, I made a lot of those in my time, just through development. That's where I learned this, really. Okay, now let's add some snares. Let's see what Metro Boomin Once More has in store for us. I like that, actually. Just so you know, I don't always go with the first thing I find. I actually sometimes I really pick them apart and filter through which sounds I'm looking for. But in this case, I don't know, sometimes I just find them off top and I just like them, so, you know, yeah, that's my process. There it is. This is it. Man, we are getting close. Watch this. Getting real close, y'all. In case you didn't know, this is a Lil Pump type beat. We're making something like I would make for Lil Pump specifically. There we go. I like that. Yeah, that adds a little flavor. Okay, pardon my excitement. There it is. There's a good one. Filling her up, that's all I'm doing right now. I'm filling the beat up with some good snares. You want the hook to sound poppy, like you want the hook to bounce. You don't want the hook to sound plain. You know, sometimes it depends, but you know, you want the hook to be as full as possible, typically. And then, you know, section out the verses. Alright, I didn't add kicks yet. Let's add some kicks. See how it's doing that? How it kept repeating? It's because use looping points is on. You want to click that off every time you add something. Sometimes it won't be on, but you know, just in case. Oops. There it is. Found it. I'm gonna take this one. Let the 808 See, okay, this is just a tiny detail. Okay, that right there, I had that as a kick, but I ultimately took it out because I want the 808 to stand out right there. It's like new school stuff, man. Let's see. Okay, now watch. To me, it sounds like that there's too much. Like me, I try to do my kicks very minimal. One thing I've learned about, I'm an artist that evolves with the times. I try to stay up to date on all the modern stuff, and I study music. That's what I do. I study new music, not just music, but I study all the new music that's coming out, and then I make a hybrid of what I do. But ultimately, my point is, one thing I've learned about kicks is I like them better in small doses. They add a lot of power to it. If you add too many kicks sometimes, I mean sometimes it's necessary, but adding too many kicks a lot of times will ultimately flood your beat. You want to like create space. Alright, now what I'm going to do next, I need to put this in key. Now that kick is in key. Okay, we're going to move on to the melody. I don't know what Lil Pump would do for a melody right now. Hold on, let me figure this out. You guys are gonna be with me through this. Now, in this instance, I'm going to make the melody very similar to the 808. I'm going to try this. Oh, I like it. That sounds pumpy. Oh! Yeah, that sounds really pumpy. Alright, now I'm gonna loop that. I'm doing all this in the piano roll because it makes it easier to section. time. I like it. Alright, so I got 2 layers. Now I'm going to find another one. There it is. No, we're gonna go higher. I know that's it. I'm actually going to keep this. Alright, now you guys are going to see a few advanced things right here that like newbies probably wouldn't understand. I'm adding, I clicked Nexus, I go to the number, and I'm adding this to a mixing channel. That's number 7. I usually do 7 just to call it safe. Or just a higher number, just because sometimes the stuff that's already on there, when you open the project, they're already assigned to a track, and sometimes you might drag something over it, and then that track you might not even realize is on number 3, and then you got some weird effect. I don't know. This is me calling it safe. Alright, we're gonna do gross beat. Gross beat is really interesting. You can do some cool stuff. Try this. Try this. Like that. Let's add a reverb. the reverb. I'm gonna try a phaser. We'll see what it does. I had to move it in front of the reverb because I want the phaser to affect first. I was always told, I don't actually even know how accurate this is. This is just a rule that I follow. The gross beat is first, so that's the first effect that takes place. Then the phaser's next, and then the reverb is last. I always want the reverb last as the effect. I don't know how accurate this information is, but it's worked out for me because there's been instances where I might have accidentally had the reverb here, and then I switched them, and then it sounded right, and they sounded different, you know, I don't know, but that's just one tip that, you know, I can give you. That it's kind of cool. This needs an effect too, so I'm going to put this on 8. I'm actually, let's try Love Filter. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna try a flanger on this. I like that. We're gonna leave it, turn it down just a little bit to blend. Okay, now we're on to the formatting. Officially formatting. Yay, formatting's done. This is probably the most tedious part of making beats, is formatting a beat. Oh yeah, don't forget this tip too. Always go to your master setting and click off that limiter. Yeah, it's gonna take from the volume a little bit, but trust me, you want it off. Unless you know how to tweak it. And most of you probably don't, and honestly it's best just, some things just are best just not mess with. Okay, see how that's moving unevenly? It'd be hard to get it really on point. that this is the snap. It's on none. That means your shit's gonna be offbeat if it's on none. You wanna go to bar, and now watch. It's gonna snap it. This took me a really long time to learn, actually. I didn't have anybody teaching me how to make beats, and all my tutorials never elaborated on that. So, you know, this is just something that I can give you that took me a while. Part of the reason why I always did the melody first when I started. Ooh, I like that. Trying to go hard for you guys. Why do I have 2 snare cues? That shouldn't be like that. Okay, so what we're gonna do. No, it's not right. I love making beats. This is what I live for. Well, I live for a lot, but yeah. I love you guys. You too, family. We're gonna try some experimentation. Ooh, I hope this drop is hard. Maybe I should cut the 808s. I was contemplating that, but I wanted it to be a constant for a little punk type. Usually as 808s ride. Yeah, we can keep them. We'll make the kicks come. Yeah, that sounds punk. Yeah. And then we'll cut the 808 right here. No, leave it. I should keep this out, really. That should only be in the hook, I feel like. There it is. Sometimes I might do something experimental like this. This is like a build-up type thing, building into the hook. Since I didn't cut the 808, cut the hats. And then it builds up, drop. Yup, see that? It's like magic. I'm gonna do that over here too, maybe only because it works so well. how this sounds. It sounds like a Lil Pump type beat to me. Now let's add some build-ups. That's funny. I like that. It's perfect for this. I'm gonna cut this. This is another trick with new school beats. A lot of times they don't let their build up ride through. As soon as the hook kicks in, bam, it stops because it makes for a clean drop. See what I mean? It's like real clean, but it still needs to come down a little bit. And in the mixing process, this right here is going to sound different. Sounds really smooth. I like it. Let's try this. I want to see what it sounds like going into the hook from the verse. Sounds good. Alright, what are we at here? We're at 3 minutes. We've officially made a Lil Pump type beat. So everybody, that's pretty much how to make a Lil Pump type beat. You know, just a general summary. You want the 808s to be simplistic, you know, like a new school simplistic. Like you don't want to overcomplicate the 808s. And if you do, you want to add some rolls to them. And the hats. New school beats in a bulk are just 808 heavy, simply, with hats kind of simplified. What I did might seem a little complex for some people, but it's actually really simplistic hats. They're very simple and new school, and with a combination of snares, kicks, and claps layered together, like layer the claps and snares and just put the kicks as well. Basically snares and claps are the fillers, but you want to make them fillers pop, and then the kicks will help make it bounce. So everybody, that is a Lil Pump type beat. Let's review.
Angels on the beat.